All right, welcome back. We are live here at Maynard's in Margate, 97.3 ESPN, the Sports Bash. I'm co-hosting Ryan Rothstein alongside Mike Gill. It's that crowded. Mike had to shuffle through everyone just to get back here.
I could not get through the crowd to get back here.
It says it all, right? Opening day?
Absolutely. I went over on the other side. I had to use the little man's room over there.
You're stuck.
And I could not get back here in time. There was that many people. But it's Phillies opening day. We're rocking and rolling.
Love it.
But guess what? We did talk Eagles earlier in the show, and we said the Eagles are doing something they haven't done in a couple of years, and that is they're having mini camps again. We were laughing about that. But Adam Caplan is here for Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. And, of course, you can get that on all podcasting platforms. And don't forget the YouTube channel. Just search Inside the Birds. It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Adam Caplan is here. What's going on, buddy?
Guys, good to talk to you. We're going to do some NFL future for divisions. We'll start with the AFC. But, man, if you would have taken the over on how many times the Phillies would strike out against Spencer Strider, you're probably going to be correct.
Yeah, I know that the Phillies, there's another strikeout as you just kind of say that. You kind of hit it right there. Yes, take the over on that. But we did say before the game, Ryan and I, to take the under in the runs. The wind up there seems to be brutal today. But, hey, it's opening day. We're loving it. We're good to be back. But you just said it.
Right.
All of the futures, we're taking a look at that. It's a fun conversation. We've been hearing a lot of the bets today. So let's start out in the AFC East and kind of get your thoughts on, as the first and second waves of free agency has kind of hit now, where these teams kind of stand and how we're looking at them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why we're doing it now, because just about every top free agent is gone. Clubs are mainly looking towards the draft right now. So let's go to the AFC East, where the Bills, once again, they've won their division 4 straight years. They've been dominant. It hasn't been too close. The Dolphins every once in a while look better, but they're not winning the division. The Bills are plus 130 to win that division. Their over-under total, by the way, for wins is 10.5 wins. The over is minus 120. The under is minus 100. But I would tell you that the Bills being the clear favorite to me, and by the way, it looks like Hasson Reddick is going to go to the Jets. Like that's out here. Or something like that. I think Hasson Reddick might be on the move, guys. See.
All right, Adam, by the way, we're having a little trouble. It's very loud in here, so I hear you talk about Reddick and the Jets in the AFC East here. You mentioned Buffalo. Patriots, by the way, plus 2,000, but the rest of that division looking pretty good. Let's go to the NFC North, because a lot of people, we were listening this morning to Greeny. They were talking about over-unders, and it was like they like the over for every team in that division. This, again, might be the most competitive division in all of football.
It is. By the way, here's the trade from ESPN. Hasson Reddick is going to the Jets. Reddick is going to go to the Jets, not the Falcons or the Cardinals, was where we thought he might go. But it looks like they got a little bit better of an offer. He's going to go to the Jets for a conditional 2026 third-round pick that could be a second. And there's a playing time parameter for that to become a second-rounder. But, see, what we were told is the Eagles wanted a minimum of a second-rounder. They were not going to get it for 24 or 25. That wasn't happening, and that's why they made this trade. So, look, they're not getting anything right now, Mike, that based on what this report from ESPN that's going to help them. Although I see, it's pretty much the parameters also, the 26th pick comes the second round if Reddick plays 67.5% of play time and it's 10 or more sacks. Yeah, so if not, it's a 2023 third. Which, wait a minute, that's kind of weird because the draft is coming up. They may have to update this, but the bottom line is it looks like it's a 2026 third-round pick. That could be a second based on what happens.
Okay, I heard you say Reddick to the Jets, but I didn't hear you say Reddick got traded to the Jets. I obviously see it now. It is very loud in here, but I do hear that now. We turned the volume up a little bit here. So the Eagles are sending Reddick to the Jets for a conditional 2026 third-round pick. That could be a second, but that's 2 drafts down the road here. So is that them not being able to get anything better than that?
Yeah, Mike, based on what our reporting at Inside the Birds, the Eagles wanted a minimum of a second-round pick and probably more. They were not going to get that. we could tell you for this year's draft, they weren't going to get that for next year's draft. Apparently, that's what's interesting. So Howie Roseman was hell-bent on potentially getting a second. Now, he's also going to get a new deal. That's as our understanding has been for weeks now. And by the way, the loose deadline, the first of the two deadlines, was Monday for that $1 million roster bonus. Remember, it got moved from March 15th, which is the third day of the league year, to April 1st. So now Reddick is going to the Jets. This paves the way for Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat. Bryce Huff, of course, the former Jet. And then, obviously, Nolan Smith now definitely will get on the field this season.
Yeah, and that basically, I don't want to say a swap for, numbers-wise, but you're basically swapping Reddick for Huff with the Jets and the Eagles. I don't know. I mean, did the Eagles make out if they're using Huff over Reddick this season? Do you think that's an upgrade?
Well, they're different players. Huff is longer physically. He's not wide, but he's longer. Reddick is the proven player, Mike. I mean, Reddick is right now the better football player. Bryce Huff has never been a starter. He's been a part-time player. He's been a sub-package rusher. Very little starting experience. So this is his first 4 years as a starter, making $17 million a year. By the way, he's got a 2-year structure on the Huff contract. So, look, he's going to have to play a lot, no doubt. And the Eagles took a little bit of a risk here. They were not going to give Hasson what he wanted in his contract. And as much as he wanted to end his career as an Eagle, that will not happen.
So pretty crazy breaking news right there. Hasson Reddick has been traded to the Jets, and they get a 2026 third-round pick that could be a second. Hey, live radio, that's what happens here sometimes. We kind of got thrown a little bit of a curveball, and Adam broke it for us right here on the Sports Bash. So if we were looking at odds for that probably was low. But the AFC North, let's look at that division, which all 4 teams in that division, I think, feel like they can win that division.
Yep. Well, actually, Mike, real quick. So let's finish AFC East. Why do I want to go back there? The Jets just got Hasson Reddick. Now, if they're going to have a healthy Aaron Rodgers, the Dolphins, by the way, are plus 200. The Jets are plus 250. I know it's only one player, but they lost Bryce Huff and they're upgrading with Reddick. So you might want. I'll be interested to see if the odds makers move that. Just wanted to mention that.
Which they were plus 250. So possibly get plus 230, maybe something like that. We'll see. All right, let's go to the North. Ravens plus 110, Bengals plus 175, the Browns plus 550, and the Steelers plus 900. And the Steelers, I think plus 900 would be good value there.
Yeah, so the Ravens are plus 110, and by the way, their over-under number is 11.5. That's really high. The over is plus 125. The under is minus 150. The Bengals are in second and plus 175. The Browns, by the way, who are plus 550. They have not won the division in 35 years. They have not won it since 1989. And, Mike, you're right. The Steelers are plus 900. That's a pretty good value. They won't win it, most likely. But, hey, look, they've upgraded the quarterback room.
Yeah, they got, obviously, the Fields and Russell Wilson. I'll ask you, Adam, do you think there's a competition there?
No, not much. They're not really opening up. They made a decision that it's going to be Russell Wilson who's going to be the starter.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting up in Pittsburgh with Russ now. I don't know how he fits there, but we'll keep it moving, Adam. We'll go to the AFC South. Interesting. Yep. I know both Gil and I were pretty high on Jacksonville. They're at plus 220 now to win the division. Last year, that's what I'm saying. Excuse me. But now Houston coming off a big, relatively surprising year. They're the favorite, plus 160. Indy, plus 260. Tennessee at the bottom in the basement at 8-1. What do you see there?
Yeah, so the books last year had the Texans from anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 wins, and the Jaguars 9 to 9.5 to win that division. So the Texans are plus 160, and then, by the way, their win total at 9.5 wins is over plus 100. I kind of like the over. Now their schedule's getting harder, and the Jaguars are by the way plus 220. The Colts are plus 260. The Titans, but by the way, at plus 800, they ought to be plus 2,000. They have a bad roster, but I would go with the Texans there. I kind of like that one.
How much of a jump do you think they can take down in Houston? Right, we mentioned the surprising year, exceeded expectations last year. You had Stroud for at least a few weeks legitimately in the MVP conversation.
The over-under for wins for them is 9.5.
Right. So, I mean, are they a 12-win team, and how much better can CJ get?
Well, I think they can get 10 or 11. The over-under total is 9.5, so I certainly think they could do that. Now, the Jaguars, they lost Calvin Ridley. I would definitely have the Texans in front. It's funny because 2 years ago, the odds makers had the Jaguars at 4.5 wins, and obviously they went up winning it. So you never know, but yeah, I would lead towards the Texans there.
All right, the West, which, man, the Chiefs, it's hard to go against them, so much so that they're minus money right now, minus 200. 11.5 is the over-under wins. They've won the division 8 years in a row. I don't even know if they have any competition. I mean, the Chargers with Harbaugh, I guess, will get some buzz. The Denver Broncos quarterback situation, a mess. And similar with the Raiders, who are going to be tough to read with new coach. Well, I guess they kept the interim coach in Antonio Pierce, but it seems like it's going to be year number 9 for them down there.
Mike, this is hard to believe they're only minus 200. See, what my breakout team, and I told people when I do Sports Group with Scott Farrell twice a week, I said in May, get on the Lions now. They have great odds. If you like a team like I like the Chiefs, how are they only minus 200? My line would be minus 400. Remember, they signed Hollywood Brown. They needed speed at receiver. Yeah, they traded L'Jarius Sneed. I get that. But overall, guys, they have the draft. They'll draft a corner. I'm not worried. They're winning that division. They're not losing it. The Chargers are in a rebuild. They're plus 300? You got to be kidding me. You're right, Mike. The rest of the division is bad. That is like the biggest shoo-in I've seen in years for the Chiefs at only minus 200.
So there you go. There are some of your odds for the AFC. We'll have Adam, of course, for football at 4 next week. We'll talk more about some of the things that's changing, all the free agent stuff. But the breaking news with Adam Caplan live on the air. Hasson Reddick traded to the Jets for a conditional pick in 2026.
Crazy.
I mean, it's bittersweet. I mean, obviously, you didn't think he was going to be there, but to get the pick in 2026, it feels like it's so far away, doesn't it, Adam?
Years.
Yeah, and Mike, in our reporting, that Howie really wanted more than a second-round pick. That's what other teams told us. They weren't getting that, and they would set their hope would be at least to get a second-round pick, either this year or next year. They didn't get that, and according to ESPN, there's specific conditions, to get what they want here. But the bottom line is, Mike, it's not quite what they were looking for. But you know what? They've signed Bryce Huff for a reason. They're very high on him. I know it's a gamble. Reddick is 30 years old, and he's still a terrific football player. They really want to get Nolan Smith on the field more. He barely played. So, and Josh Sweat, by the way, he's got to get going, Mike. He had a disappointing second half, and he obviously took a pay cut.
Yes, the Reddick, obviously, not the same player, by the way, as he was the first year in Philadelphia, numbers-wise, but we'll see how that all works out. Huff now in, Reddick is out. Adam Caplan, I'm sure you guys will have more reaction on the Inside the Birds podcast, which you can get on all podcasting platforms, and the Inside the Birds YouTube channel. Just search Inside the Birds. Moshe will be back next week, and we'll get his thoughts on that, along with Andrews as well, who did a great job on the Pro Day coverage up at Rutgers yesterday with all the Max Melton stuff locally here. But Adam, enjoy opening day, and happy Friday, buddy.
You too, thanks.